it lies on the both sides, towards university and industry both. Both needs to make certain required efforts कि जहाँ जरूरत पड़े university should approach the right companies who are actually working on the trends and emerging technologies that are actually the right market needs, and at the same time the university should contact individuals from other industries as well that they think should be trending in the future. Moreover, I think like what academia should do is basically they should work or start working more towards the practical side of the courses instead of just focusing on the theoretical side. There are a lot of things that could be done, and the students shouldn't feel like they whatever they have studied over the course of 4 years is actually totally disconnected from the industry, and rather they should feel at least similar, if not the same, that whatever they are doing, they have at least experienced that at some point during their bachelor's or whatever the program they have conducted in. Moreover, I think HSC or some government body should establish a separate program or platform that should only be specifically responsible for liaising between industry and academics. I think just designing or redesigning the curriculum is not actually now filling the gap that exists in industry.
Alright. So Tulsi, we were talking a while ago. हम इसी पे बात कर रहे थे कि how IBM is actually providing their input by instructing kids and university students. So is there a gap that you felt when you actually went down to teach those students? Were they according to your expectations with respect to the industry trends, or you had to make an extra effort to actually bridge that gap?
Okay. So I think it works both ways, right? Like you guys have already discussed. So just an example, right? I joined IBM in 2015, right? And right away, I was asked to build a data science team, and we started posting the jobs everywhere. And you won't believe that within a month, we hardly received 2 resumes. And we sent an email to FAST, MUST, GIK, LUMS, all the universities, but we didn't have that talent, or probably I believe that there was talent, but probably the universities were not doing a great job, at helping those students towards this. So in the same year, we decided that okay, if we have to expand our capacity, right, we have to find different ways to help these students. And the first thing we did was academic partnerships, right? So IBM has been following this model for a long time. We have partnerships with a lot of universities abroad. So we decided we were going to do this here. And our first partnership we did with University of Management and Technology in Lahore. And the reason we did that is because it was our first experimentation. IBM did not do that in Pakistan before that. And we went there because one, it was easy. Other big colleges like FAST or LUMS, it was a little difficult for us to go and change the dynamics and tell them what to do. So we did that partnership with UMT, and they asked us, okay, we would love you guys to come here and redesign our program. So what we did was we designed the whole curriculum for them for the master's program. So this master's program was primarily data science because we were interested, but then we extended the courses to people from MIS as well as MBA. So what happened after that was we initially we were offering we gave a list of 12 courses to them, right? And all those courses, they were specific to our needs. So what happened was that whatever the tools and technologies that the students were learning were not something that they were doing before, but something that IBM wanted. And at the end of the what happened was in our first program we had 12 students enrolled into the data science program, but because we were also extending the program to other streams, we were able to have more students. We had around 20 students. And end of the year, we had 20 graduates from the master's program, and they were very skilled in all the IBM tools and technology that we were offering. To name a few, one was WhatsApp Analytics, SPSS, IBM Cloud Platform, right? So the students were provided the licenses to access those services, right? Something that wasn't done before. Right? Other institutions do provide the resources, but they don't either guide them or they don't provide those technologies to them. So end of the year, we had 20 graduates. Good news is we hired 2 students at the end of the same year in IBM, and the feedback was great actually. And now they are having more than 25-30 students every year. So this partnership helped us to partner with more universities. So now we have partnered with UCP in Lahore. We have partnered with FAST in Islamabad. And now we are helping them redesign the curriculum. And then what happened is that they are addressing our needs, right? So it's a two-way. But I don't want to stop here. I don't want to stop with just academic partnerships. This is something that was initiated by IBM. It's who's the end stakeholder? It's the students, right? So my suggestion is just don't wait for your universities or institutions to help you. You have to help yourself. I would suggest take advantage of your social networks. Right? I every day I get at least 20 messages from. I'm not talking about universities. I get messages from people in high schools that we want to do computer science or we heard about data science. Help us. How should we start? Where should we start? And even sometimes students from universities, of course, they want projects. So many students asking us, can you give us a project? You mentioned about experiential learning that can help you and as well as give us the experience. So the students also have to make that effort because if the institutions don't see it or the academia doesn't see it, the students can show them the way out.
So IBM identified a gap between what they wanted and what was being offered by the university, and then you guys played your part to fill that very gap. So I'm going to ask this Sir Yusuf because he has been on the teaching side of the academia. कि सर ये जो गैप आइडेंटिफाई होता है या जो इंडस्ट्री के डिमांड ट्रेंड्स चेंज हो रहे हैं विद रिस्पेक्ट टू टेक्नोलॉजीज आर यूनिवर्सिटीज कैचिंग अप टू दोज वेरी ट्रेंड्स या हमें आईबीएम की तरह इन प्रोग्राम्स की ही जरूरत है और वी नीड टू जस्ट टेल दीज स्टूडेंट्स कि आप खुद से अपनी तरफ से एक स्टेप लें एंड यू लर्न दिस टेक्नोलॉजी because we are hopeless that your university might not offer these things which are being demanded by the industry, or is it university at some point are they actually going to offer these things which are being required by the industry? What's going to happen?
Right. See, there is a responsibility of the academy and all the universities. They need to provide the basic concepts of the program which they are teaching. So, अगर computer science को देखें, so they need to provide the in-depth concepts of all the computer science items, concepts. Industry की एक demand है. There are certain tools, there are certain technologies that are working on. Academia वो सारी की सारी demands पूरी नहीं कर सकती है within the 4 years, and still they need to provide all the basic concepts. Okay? What I envision, or what I probably can suggest, is probably in the last years or last semesters, or probably after even after they've passed out from the universities, they can get enrolled into certain industry-specific programs. जिस तरीके से IBM अगर provide कर रहा है, there were provided by Microsoft and all that industry giants. So if they can provide such time frame कि इसके अंदर आप तैयार हो सकते हैं, probably within their organization or using the university's facility, that would be helpful. So this is my idea. This should be the one which should be exercised by both the industry and academia.
So हम लोग problems तो बहुत discuss करते रहते हैं. We are today are all of us. हम लोग की intention थी कि we talk on solutions. How do we implement these measures that bring the two entities together, both industry and academia? So I'm not going to put this to Mustafa. Mustafa, how do you suggest we do this? What actually Tulsi mentioned or what Sir mentioned, कि इस किस्म के programs जो कि implement किए जाएं for students जो कि those who are in their final years, and they can benefit the most from them. How do we do this going forward?
I think Sir has put up a very good suggestion. Okay, this I think even if you see abroad, बहुत सारी universities हैं which have very let's say short courses available. जहाँ पे let's say अगर आपको कोई specialized skill सीखना है तो you can opt for that. Because what I feared in let's say Pakistani market, where हमारे पास let's say we do have giants like IBM, so they can make certain investments and take initiatives to a level जहाँ पे they can back the universities and get their things done. But unfortunately, the different work companies that I've worked with, we do not really see कि एक industry से इतना push आता है towards the academic side कि they should be able to let's say design the courses because with IBM they have all the international standards for let's say and all the documentation and all the they have their I believe own university as well to teach certain products and their let's say complete agenda to let's say get on board. So I think this is something that we need to let's say being let's say at the industry level. I think it's our responsibility as well to let's say initiate this motion from our side so that even let's say smaller companies and local companies can let's say initiate certain motion. But let's say a takeaway from this session today for the academia side would be so that they should have certain committee or let's say that should ensure let's say after certain time period that are we up to the mark or not, and you can have let's say small board comprising of let's say some industry experts or people who can who are let's say experienced with updated technology and trends out in the market. So they can perhaps do a good collaboration to ensure that the academia stays up to date. So I think perhaps a takeaway from my side would be that we should be a collaborative model where university should establish certain committee and should have some let's say different type of committee members on board. Thank you.
So we all left our offices today to come for you guys, and I would really appreciate if you guys can be a little more attentive because I would want you all to benefit from this discussion that we are having today. So moving on, what is Allied Bank doing at present when you're hiring fresh graduates? What do you actually look for? What do you look for in a fresh graduate, specifically a computer science graduate? और क्या आप लोगों के demand curves भी vary करते हैं just like what all mentioned?
There are basically two aspects that we look for. One is like the problem solving skills of the students. We don't go for GPAs or we don't go for higher grades and all those. We basically look for the problem solving skills of students. And then for certain projects, we look for specialized technologies. The student like data sciences, like blockchain technology, robotic process automation, where these students who have the aspiration or they have they can learn from like certain courses, online courses, from their academia. So there are like two kind of basically openings that we have. One is like generalized technology and one is specific technology. So for generalized technology, we get like pretty good response from different universities and academia. But whereas the specialized technologies, we are struggling in hiring those resources currently, and we are not able to build teams in that as well. So for that, I think there's still a need from academia and both industry that they should do something about it.
So I'm going to put the same question to Usman. If not GPA, then what actually Venture Dive looks for when hiring a student?
Well, we have a standardized set of criteria that we usually check beside GPAs, and any individuals who's coming in needs to fit that criteria. I'll give you an example. We were just informally discussing few things internally as well. Like we were searching for project managers and BAs. So they were candidates who were like who did their masters, MBA, and they were like PMP, PMI, ACT, and they have tons of certifications, and even then they were failing our criteria. So that was the most disturbing factor for us, at least because our interviews are getting more serious. We have got specialized trainings how to fetch most out of the candidates. and use the time productively. So we actually take interviews very seriously and we invest time in interviewing individuals and know like where he's actually finding the blockers to reply to any questions. So having that said, um, we actually our interviews are actually based on subject that we need as per the domains or competencies that we have. And all the questionnaires or the interviews are actually designed based on those criteria. Problem solving is one thing. Beside that, we've also injected some of the trending topics that are used globally nowadays. If I talk about project management or business analysis only, and we are not just checking the individuals against trends that were in use for the past 10 or 12 years. So this is how at least we are engaging individuals, and on top of that, soft skills is another thing I believe that's equally important beside any technical skills, and I think that's another important factor that institutions, especially the computer science departments of different universities, should focus on to build because there's so much focus on technologies and etc. Like the soft skills get prioritized.
Alright, so we'll just get to that. जब हम question answer session करेंगे तब पता लगेगा आप लोगों की soft skills कैसी हैं. So coming to Tulsi, so when someone is transforming from their academic life to corporate life, they all face challenges, right? और आप लोगों की expectation एक set हुई हुई होती है with respect to a fresh graduate. Let it be their technology, their hands-on technology. Let it be their attitudes. Let it be their expectation in so many ways. What are you feeling with the passage of time? So you have been hiring people, you have been teaching them. How about is your expectation curve varying with respect to time? Are you expecting more out of fresh graduates, or they are as per your expectations? What do you feel?
I think it has always been a challenge, right? I don't think anyone would agree with, would say that any person hiring in a company would say that that person fulfilled my expectations. Because it takes time. It always takes time for someone to, fresh off the board, getting inside a company, because you have to learn to work their way, right? So, I mean, recently we've been hiring a lot of data scientists. Over the past year, we hired almost 50 in Pakistan, and many from FAST and LUMS. But I, there, there was a gap in what they learned and what they wanted, right? One thing we found out was the difference in approach, the way they tackle the problem. There's a difference when you're working in a real life scenario and when you're working in an academic environment, working on a problem that you're not aware of its real life consequences. So you tackle it. So I think every person who is coming inside, specifically talking about IBM, it takes them 3 to 6 months to learn the IBM, and I think it's the same with other organizations. They have to learn. They do have to learn the way to solve that problem. So the expectations would remain the same. Right? They're not decreasing or like you asked. But the way to answer take this as a problem and then answer it would be that students should make effort to find such problems. So in many, I mean, FAST is a great institution. It's a big academic institution, and probably they do it a lot of projects. But if you talk about relatively smaller institutions who don't get these opportunities to get the experience of working real life problems, or if that's the case in FAST as well, they should collaborate. They should collaborate themselves uh, right from semester one. They should talk to these any company. They should find problems. I know that there won't be many opportunities here in Pakistan. Maybe that's my perception. But then they should try to create those opportunities by taking on projects and showing them what they can do. They can change those expectations. So the change in expectations would only happen once those students show them what the institutions should expect from them. Because right now, I believe that even institutions don't expect these students to perform the way.
Alright, I'll put this question with Sir you, sir. Sir, technically सब बहुत अच्छे हो सकते हैं, ज़्यादा फर्क पड़ता भी नहीं है when they are at par. But attitude wise, yeah, with respect to soft skills that just Usman mentioned, what is your expectation when you're hiring a fresh graduate? I mean, is there a benchmark? Should they actually have that right go-getter attitude that we're looking for, or is it your evaluation is just based on their complete technicalities?
Well, we are hiring for somebody on a technical basis. That's true, but yeah, uh, soft skills are especially certain attitudes are really required when we hire an individual. Well, not all of the probably soft skills can be identified during the interviews. That's why we have every company has the probationary period where they can check out both of these skills, like the technical skills as well as the soft skills. How they are mingled with the other office colleagues and certain soft skills that everyone knows about. So yeah, both of them are required. Some of them are identified during the interviews, which we definitely see. But the probationary time is for that to review um, um, every individual new hire, how they are performing and how they are interacting with the challenges as well as the fellow colleagues. So yeah, the answer is yes.
So, I mean, staying upright, staying motivated, having the right attitude is what takes you farther away. I'll put the same question to Mustafa. Mustafa, what do you think?
I think soft skills play for me and for my organization and the type of role that we usually look at, it really plays a very crucial role. Because the thing is that previously, even when we were hiring people as consultant, and we wanted to see that how they can actually analyze certain situations and respond to that. So they could be their response could contain let's say certain emotions, or they could be logic based. This is something that we generally try to gauge out of the candidates. But at the same time, like what sir mentioned, that there are certain traits and certain I would say habits that usually can't judge out of an interview. That unfortunately, even right now, there are multiple students who are only using cell phone and are enjoying, I would say, at the back. So they could have benefited perhaps more from this session. So this is something that is, I think, this is a natural thing that we could generally see.
I don't
today.
think anyone actually even heard that.
My bad. So it's okay. Generally the back benches are going to get some pictures done. So it's okay. So generally, what is important is to understand and what we acknowledge is the generation shift that we see from millennials to Gen Z, and we see that there are different traits in every generation that from let's say a 15-year range that we generally see. And even today, let's say after even working the 12 years in the industry, I still prefer to work with the fresh blood because they're more energetic. They have the right spark to let's say do things that generally a 5 or 8 year old won't do. But at the same time, there's a lot of mentorship and coaching that you need to do to get them on the right track to ensure that they have the right attitude and the right, let's say, habits to make sure that they provide the necessary attention to, let's say, any given situation in an organization. So yes, I think today I think this plays a very crucial role for us, and I think it's equally important for all organizations. So I really urge all the students out there to let's say make most better use of their time, even if they're on the, let's say using social media or let's say anything out there. Because if you're staying connected to your alumni or let's say getting certain feedback out of them, or let's say hanging out with them, or perhaps visiting their organization, there is definitely benefit you. And one of the things that we've seen is that शायद दो किस्म के स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं आज भी जो बिल्कुल एक पढ़ाई की तरफ होते हैं और एक बिल्कुल ऑफ होते हैं तो कुछ इसका जो मिक्सचर होता है दैट इज समथिंग जनरली दैट वर्क्स एंड या फिर उस तरह के कैंडिडेट्स जो कि बिल्कुल आई थिंक दे आर जो जिनमें सबसे ज़्यादा डेडिकेशन होती है टू गेट थिंग्स डन with the go-getter attitude. So that is something that we always prefer over everything else. So that's from my side.
All right, good to know. I'm going to just proceed with the last question. What would be your word of advice, as most of these guys would be graduating soon? So, transforming from their academic to corporate life, how do they cope with the challenges? What would be your piece of advice to these young lot?
My advice would be stay connected with the new technologies, emerging technologies, because they are the future, like blockchain, big data, data sciences, RPA. So these technologies, which are the future, and you should at least get the idea of these technologies before entering into the market.
All right, so embrace the future, work on the newer technologies that the market is demanding. Usman, your piece of advice to these young guys?
I think the biggest advice is like to consider university or any institution the 4 years program as a platform where you will actually have an opportunity to experiment a lot of things. Either it's a newer technology or anything that we're aware that could actually benefit the industry or the whole society as well. Or you can actually solve any problem through your own product. So I think just coming to a university for completing your degree programs might not suffice the need here. I think you should use this as an opportunity just to network with the right individuals, either they are faculty or students, to ready yourself for the future and to make sure like whatever you are working on, you are researching, it's just you are kind of harvesting your own future that would work as a kind of a productized service for the market and as well as for your own good as well.
Tulsi, your words, please.
So my words for those who actually want to excel, right? Build your connections, and most importantly, have a mentor right from semester one. Doesn't I don't care if you're in masters or bachelors. Having a mentor is very important. That's something I learned when I was doing my life. Thankfully, I had a good mentor who guided me throughout my education as well as my thesis as well as still I'm working, but even throughout my professional career I'm being helped by a mentor. It's very important to have a mentor. Have a mentor in your college or outside college. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I can tell you I'm probably counseling more students outside Pakistan than in Pakistan. I have never heard a student from FAST messaging me on LinkedIn. I can probably get more messages from students from smaller colleges. And probably I feel happier that I'm able to help them more. But I would recommend you to build your connections because at the end of the day, that would really matter. Because people know you right from day one. People know what your capabilities are. And if you have a mentor, if that person is your mentor, he would be able to help you how to enter the industry. He would know your weaknesses and he would change your weaknesses into your skills. Right? Now it might just sound words, but this is really important. Having a mentor means that at the end of the day, when you're outside college, there would be a person, even when you're getting rejections from different colleges, that person would be there to open different doors for you. So that's what it is.
All right. We are quickly going to open the floor for questions. Anyone having any queries, please feel free.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर आपने जिक्र किया कि स्टूडेंट एक होते हैं पढ़ाई वाले दूसरे होते हैं जो लेक्चर ना पढ़ने वाले आपने कहा मिक्सचर होना चाहिए तो मैं उस मिक्सचर को समझना चाहूँगा
May I know your good name?
पवन कुमार
Pawan Kumar. So Pawan, I think what's important is that कि जिस तरह हमने जुनेद ने एक क्वेश्चन सेंड किया था कि क्या सॉफ्ट स्किल्स कितना अपना रोल प्ले करती हैं. What happens is that कि when you're all into the studies and not into any let's say committees, so you're not into let's say team management. ठीक है तो वो different जितनी भी आपकी soft skills हैं वो आपकी इतनी brush up नहीं हो रही होती. So someone who's let's say into all let's say a bit of extracurricular activities at the same time and who's also let's say good at what he does So I think that's a great.
So that's the mixture that we are talking about.
Thank you, sir.
I think we can take one more question.
So even me and Junaid, while coming to fast, so proceed.
सर आप लोगों का स्टार्टअप का क्या व्यूज है कि बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं वो ग्रेजुएशन के बाद वो ऐसे कंपनी में जाने के बजाय वो मतलब स्टार्टअप करते हैं अपने मतलब कि कुछ दोस्त मिलके एक कंपनी खोलते हैं मतलब उस पर फ्रीलांस प्रोजेक्ट लेके करते हैं तो इसके बारे में आपके क्या व्यूज हैं
Cause are you? Yeah, I think it's a very good initiative if you are bringing up your own startup. Or frankly speaking, if 10 or 15 guys actually come up with their own product-based company, that would actually create opportunities for one your fast students. And ये एक वो पॉइंट है जो हम अभी इनफॉर्मली बिफोर दिस पैनल डिस्कशन डिस्कस भी कर रहे थे कि अगर entrepreneurial spirit be built किया जाए right from day one, from first semester into individuals rather than forcing them to go to a bigger companies or jobs, so that would in turn create opportunities for your own city and country and etc. And we have seen this in the past globally as well, like बड़ी-बड़ी company खत्म हुई वहाँ से जो talent निकला, they started their own companies which actually created opportunities for the individuals. But provided that your product idea is bulletproof and that would actually excel and you would actually have success. Success का मतलब ये नहीं है कि पहली दफा में success होगा. That success might come after 4 or 10 failures even. But end result counts, and end result would be that you would become the source of creating jobs for your own friends.
So, just my piece of advice for people who are looking forward to start their own startup: don't just become, while you're starting here, don't just become a job seeker. Try to become a job creator, and then you'll know the real meaning of the wonders you can do. So, yeah, keep that in mind.
जैसे कि फास्ट में बहुत सारे लैपटॉप हैं जो अभी सब फ्रीलांसिंग करते हैं जैसे कि फाइबर पे या फिर कोई और प्लेटफॉर्म है तो वहाँ पे जो है ना तो पाकिस्तानियों को ज़्यादा जो है ना वो वैल्यू नहीं दी जाती और मैं ये सोच रहा था कि आप मिलके कोई ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म बनाएं जिससे जो है ना फ्रीलांसिंग आसानी से जो है ना पाकिस्तान में ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म हो जहाँ पे हम काम कर सकें और आगे जो है ना इस टेक्नोलॉजी को
Um, it's not about Pakistan. It's about the experience that you have. उन्होंने भी entrepreneurship की बात की. आप भी जो बात कर रहे हैं वो exactly the same. It's working by your own self. The whole सब लोग अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं. You probably have as much talent as probably as any other person. Technology भी आपको सब कुछ पता होगा, ठीक है? लेकिन the only thing the people lack who are graduating from any university is the experience. My recommendation is आप अपना काम करते हैं, but it would be a good idea to have a mentor. जैसे सर ने कहा था, you must have a mentor. और अगर वो होगा, then you will see the wonders. कि किस तरीके से आपके और काम अच्छे होते चले जाएंगे. ठीक है? So do whatever you are doing, but you must have a consistent mentorship. Somebody must mentor yourself or the group of people जो कि आपको आगे बढ़ाते चले. ठीक है? आपके पास अच्छे आइडियाज हैं, आप काम कर रहे हैं, आप करते हैं, लेकिन उसे किस तरीके से to the world how to present yourself ये कोई ना कोई एक्सपीरियंस ही पर्सन ही आपको बता सकेगा कि किस तरीके से करते हैं. How to present yourself. तो वो प्रेजेंटेशन हमारी लैक कर जाती है जो फ्रेश ग्रेजुएट्स हैं. ठीक है? बाकी सब लोग आप बहुत अच्छे हैं, do what you are doing, but have a mentorship with someone.
Alright, you wanted to add something? Alright, great. So, I guess you guys are anxiously waiting for your results that are soon to be announced. We won't, keep you much longer away from those. It was a great session. I once again thank all the panelists for taking out the time from their busy schedules and coming all the way towards here. We would like to thank the organizers for having us all here. It was a great session. Hope you guys learned a few things. We are always just a LinkedIn message away. If you ever feel you want any piece of advice, we are just a LinkedIn message away. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We'd like to invite Dr. Tahir Saeed, please give a big cheers to our guest speakers, moderator and panelists.